Right, good morning. It has been 2 weeks since I had my last run. Let me explain what happened. So today is the first day of May of 2025, and this means that we are officially 18 days out from the Utrecht Marathon. This also means that it has been over 4 months since I started documenting this journey to attempt my sub 3 hour marathon and share everything that I'm going through with you guys. But as of today, the first day of May, 18 days out, I'm still injured. And if you don't know what happened, a few weeks ago at the end of March of 2025, I had this big workout on my schedule, a 35-kilometer long run. It went really well, everything felt amazing, the weather was great, but the day after, things started to flare up. I had this pain in my hip, in my left hip and left thigh that only got worse over time. I continued to run on it, and normally when things flare up, I usually run through it. Things will go away because, during these big training blocks, during marathons, during triathlons, whatever you're training for, it is normal that things started to flare up, right? It's normal that, that you don't feel at 100% during the entire build. And I assumed that I could have also run through this injury. The days and weeks after that injury, things only became worse. And it was at this point that I started to realize that I was not in control of this injury. And as of today, 5 to 6 weeks later, I still have this injury with me. I'm going continuously towards the physio as well, who recommended me not to run on it. And the stupidest mistake I've made to run on it 2 weeks later for an entire week again, to run a half marathon because I thought I felt great, only made things go really wrong. Like, it became worse and worse and worse. It was such a realization moment for me as well. If I look right now where I am and where I wanted to be, then it's never even close to what I had in front of myself when I basically structured this entire build for myself. But there is one thing that I could have done, and that is what I'm doing continuously right now. And that is the way how I respond to these kind of circumstances. Because things will never go as planned. Things will always flare up and things will always go wrong at a certain time. But the only thing that I can control is how I respond to this situation and this circumstance. And that is what I've done over the past 5 to 6 weeks, to not completely give up my endurance work, but I've replaced my runs by cycle workouts. So instead of running 4 to 5 times a week, I'm right now rather on a bike 4 to 5 times a week for 1.5 hours, and I also schedule workouts with intervals on the cycle sessions that I have, instead of the runs that I would normally have. Cycling right now has become my main form of endurance over the past 5 to 6 weeks. And I hate every single moment of it, to be very honest. But for me right now, it's more important to, okay, how I'm going to respond to this type of circumstance and how I'm going to prepare myself mentally and physically to potentially still line up for the marathon on May 18. It's testing me truly. Like, this situation, these circumstances, these setbacks are made to basically test us and see what we are actually, willing to do in order to still basically potentially proceed with that what you've scheduled for yourself. And this test is truly more mentally than it is physically. Even though I feel the pain in my left hip and left thigh, the mental aspect of it is way worse in a sense, but also good than, for example, the physical part. And as of right now, first day of May, today, again, a new cycle session on my schedule. So right now we'll head off towards the gym to hit another 1.5 hour cycle session, and I'll take you guys with me. All right, good morning. It's the second day of May, and I was just thinking about why I even signed up for my marathon in the first place and why, people just love to do hard things in life, right? Because marathons, it's a hard thing. It's not something that most people are even considering to do in their lifetime. I truly believe that every single person on this life is meant to do hard things. And we can either choose to do hard things or we are basically forced to do hard things, the things that we don't, let's say, that we don't plan, the things that are happening to us, and these kind of like hardships, or let's say hard times that we do not choose, right? The things that are happening to us, for example, injuries during a marathon or any life circumstances that are happening to us, those are tests that allow us to become more resilient by the way how we respond to that circumstance. And it directly reflects as well the situation that I'm in and that I was in over the past month and a half, right? In regards to my injury, in regards to things that are happening to my family, right? With my mother's surgery and all those things that I did not choose to do. But there is one thing that I could control, and that is the way how I respond to the situation. These type of hardships, those times allow us to become resilient, as we are the ones that control that response, so we can also be an inspiration to others. And that's also why I'm still documenting this journey, to share what I'm going through. And I even thought from a certain point, why is this happening to me? When I was thinking about that, I thought, why not me? This is the perfect opportunity for me as well as a person to first of all grow, but to also show and inspire others through it, who can learn from it and then hopefully apply it in their own life, in their own circumstances. Because I'm not the only person who's going through hardship, going through setbacks. Every single person in our lifetime, we will go through these situations that we wish we didn't needed to go through, right? But those are also the times that allow us to grow from it, if we see it as something that we can turn into a positive. So the marathon that I signed up for right now, and the injuries and all the circumstances that came along with it that I have right now, this allowed me to basically grow as a person in terms of, changing my running sessions to cycle sessions. And I definitely have seen, even though I hated every single moment on the bike, that it allowed me to become, let's say, stronger, literally, like physically. My legs are becoming stronger because of the bike. I'm building right now a different type of cardiovascular. So I turned this thing, what I thought initially was a negative, into a positive. And that is just by understanding, okay, how are we and how am I going to respond to this situation that is happening to me? Not the hard things that we are choosing to do, the hard things, right? That we sign up for those marathons, especially the things that we do not choose to do. That shows and shapes our character. And that's something that I've seen recently that really helped me, and hopefully also helps you when you're going through the same things in life and when you see this video. And so every single life circumstance that happens to us or that we choose to do comes always with an opportunity to grow from it, to become stronger because of it, that we can turn it from a negative into a positive, and we can use it in our advantage to literally grow from it. And that's how I approach this now as well. For example, with the bike sessions that I have right now, I know for sure that when I get back to running, that I'm stronger. Not only in terms of my legs, but it as well is allowing me to, let's say, recover faster, right? To have, let's say, have a different type of cardiovascular health that would help me from the moment that I'm able to get back to running. When we see different life circumstances that are happening to us, right, that we don't choose to do, this way that we can turn it into a positive, I truly believe that everything that happens is here and meant to be to make us stronger if we see it that way. And one thing that ties to it that I read recently, which I would love to share, is super powerful. It was saying that we should never allow a situation or circumstance to define our lives. And we should understand that we got something inside of us that is greater than the situation under circumstance. But we have to constantly believe it. And not only believe it, we have to make decisions, proactive decisions and choices every single day that puts us one step forward towards what we believe is our destiny. I think this is really strong, and this perfectly ties to the message that I would like to share here. And I hope you can apply it as well this way. All right, I just want to share this with you because this note that I basically wrote down myself has been the note that I stick to for over the past month and a half for my morning and evening mobility routine. I went, of course, to the physio. He told me, hey, you need to keep moving your body, Carlos. It's very important to, let's say, not sit still. And that's obviously what I did not do. So this morning and evening mobility exercises that I implemented every single day in my routine facilitated my recovery so much, and I would love to share it with you as well. I will also pull it up in front of yourself and also in the description. But the first exercise that I did every single morning and every single evening before heading to bed was 90-90 hip rotations, 2 times 10 per side. The second one, the one that I struggle with most actually, was world's greatest stretch, 2 times per side. World's greatest stretch, I was just struggling a lot to keep, let's say, stabilizing myself while doing it. That was the main thing that I was struggling with. Number 3 is the couch stretch, 1 minute each side. Then we have number 4, hip flexor stretch, 1 minute each side. Then number 5, the clamshell. 6, lateral bent walk. And number 7, knees side to side. So normally what I would have done is I always do push-ups. I always, of course, do mobility exercises. But these exercises really help me to, let's say, loosen up my legs, right? To be able to move throughout the day easier because when I'm awake, I'm already, let's say, stretching my body, which would allow me to literally go through the day pain-free. It helped me so much. So if you're maybe having the same kind of issues or anything that is related to pain in your legs, this might help a lot. You can give it a try. What I did on top of that is that I always had a 10-minute ice cooling every single day. I did that normally before I went to bed. I got some ice cubes. I just pull up that ice cube on my hip or on my thigh. When I pull it up, like the ice cube itself would be completely gone after, let's say, the cooling was over. And that was the goal. 1 ice cube a day. And that helped also very much with my recovery. So those kind of things is something that you can potentially also implement for yourself if you're dealing with those situations. But I truly believe, guys, this situation as a whole, it holds so much conviction. It held so much conviction. And these kind of situations, when we are getting into, let's say, adversity, right? When things are not going as planned, it really helped me self-assess, let's say, in questioning my principles and values in life. There were so many things that I thought were important that were not important at all, or that I was spending time on, where I eventually, when looking back right now, it really didn't even matter. And there are so many situations in life that we go through that eventually, by looking back, when we have put so much time to it, that it didn't make any difference. When we go through these type of situations, of course, of adversity, of, let's say, setbacks, then at a certain point, we will become uncomfortable, right? Because of these situations. And I truly believe when you're going to basically expose yourself to discomfortable situations on a daily basis, you're able to deal with these kind of situations, with setbacks, with things that are happening to you way better. So I truly believe as well, because of that the comfort zone, yes, right? It's a beautiful place to be in. But if we want to grow as persons, we need to, let's say, expose ourselves to discomfort. Maybe not on a daily basis, but continuously. Because that will, of course, set yourself up for success at the moments that you're forced to, let's say, get in discomfort, basically dealing with it way better at that specific situation. And nothing ever grows from comfort. It might be a beautiful place to be in, you might be very comfortable, but it really like to grow as a person. If you want to become better, not for yourself, maybe from the people around you or for whoever you're doing it for, then that comfort that you're in on a daily basis might be something that is holding you back, right? I have weekly appointments right now at the physio. The pain that I'm having there by just, let's say, the massage, even though it's a massage, is terrible, right? I don't want to go. I need to go because I know as well that will also allow me to recover faster, right? To grow from it. And with that pain, of course, to facilitate that recovery that I want in order to get back to running as soon as possible. So these kind of situations, guys, it's literally testing us in every single situation most likely that it can. And we are the ones who are able to respond to these kind of situations rather than react. If we are going to react, then most likely we will not grow from it. If we are going to respond in the other way, we are able to control how we're going to respond to it, right? And that response that we give, you can use it always in your advantage if you see the positive side from it. I also see it like this situation as well, exactly the same. Even though it might suck, right? Weeks without running, I feel that I've grown from this situation, so I can apply that also in the upcoming years for my runs, for my workouts, for me as a person, right? To grow. That is the response that I want to control, that I'm going to control and continually do. And I hope you're also going to do the same thing if you have that situation, because how we respond is up to us in every single situation that we are basically forced to make decisions. That of course is not, let's say, making it up for the fact that I most likely should have held back from running for at least a certain time, because when I got back into running, right, even though a physio did not, let's say, disqualify me directly from it, which gave me the impression as well, of course, to directly do it, but I should have held back, and that's a mistake that I've made. It's obvious, right? When you're having pain, most likely it's also your body telling yourself that you should maybe hold back for a little, right? So you're able to get back faster and stronger. I'm holding back right now for at least 2 more weeks from running. That's what I believe. And with all that being said, I've decided not to run the Utrecht Marathon on May 18th of 2025. It's not the best decision right now to go for a sub-3 marathon when I'm not, let's say, at least 80, not even 80% of my capabilities. I still want to do it. I still have the ticket, but right now I need to hold back from the Utrecht Marathon to approach this sub-3 goal that I have in front of myself, which I will still go for this year. I want to be at least 90% to 100% being capable of achieving it. Even though I've done so much over the past weeks, right? Over the past 5-6 months of training continuously, not skipping any day. This is the best type of approach that I can take right now to mature myself and to, of course, grow as a person, to learn from my mistakes, to apply it in my next marathon. And my next marathon will be the Marathon of Amsterdam, which will take place on October 19th of 2025, which is 5.5 months out from today, which is May 5th of 2025. I'm super excited to go for this marathon. I'm also quite disappointed to a certain extent to not go for my goal for Utrecht, but this is the best thing that I can do right now, to still go for the sub-3 this year and to continuously document this journey from the moment I start running again, which will be most likely in 2 weeks from now. And from that point, I will already start with my prep for the Amsterdam Marathon, which I will document every single thing for you guys, of course, and to, of course, continuously expose myself to this discomfort, to share my things that I will learn along the way, and to hopefully as well inspire you and help you along the way to run your first or how many time marathon you're gonna run. So that is my goal. I will be cycling in the upcoming weeks continuously, and these cycle sessions will help me to also, of course, strengthen up my legs in order to approach the Marathon of Amsterdam the best way possible. But before we leave this video, I would like to leave you guys with one thing. So, if you're resilient, you will get what you're looking for. If you're consistent, you will keep it. But if you're grateful, whatever you want will increase. Because people will burn out because lives make them forget why they do it in the first place. I think this is so strong, and this exactly ties to the situation I'm in, and I know a lot of people watching this are in or will get into as well. So hope this video was helpful. I'm super excited to still go for the sub-3 marathon. Plans change, but the work doesn't. We continue this journey together, and I'm very looking forward to seeing you guys in the next video, in which we will continue the journey to our sub-3 hour marathon.